Bars in LA tend to close around 2. There was a place called the Palace that would open at 3 a.m. with a line of about 1,000 people at the door at 3 a.m. Thousands of people would pack in there. That place would be open until 7 a.m., at which point the garage would open. And so the garage is like literally, and it used to be a garage, like an auto body shop. Windowless, they just boarded up all the windows, turned it into this dance club. And it was the leftovers of humanity. I mean, it was the seediest, most disgusting thing. Everybody had been doing so much ecstasy and cocaine and ketamine and crystal meth that their eyes were just like exploding out of their heads. And they're dancing to this like rave music. And we lived like 4 blocks from the garage. And so on Sunday mornings sometimes, we would get up. We'd go get a coffee at Starbucks, and then we would go to the garage and dance our faces off with these tweakers. And it was like literally like these Armenian gangsters with no shirts on and just like sweaty mass of disgusting humanity, and it was totally awesome. And everybody would always be like, man, what are you on? It was like, I just a latte. It was awesome. So yeah.
Hi, Misha.
How are you?
You're great. You're beautiful. I love you. And I was wondering what you thought Castiel's life would be like living in Minnesota for a week. Like what he'd do and where he'd live and all.
Yeah, pretty good.
I mean, how many episodes of Supernatural have taken place in Minnesota? Does anyone know? 2?
No, more.
4?
Like 7.
4.
No, more.
It's more. We don't know. We don't have consensus. Some number greater than 0. What has Castiel been? Has Cass been here?
Yes.
He was where? That was St. Cloud? So we actually have documentation of exactly what Cass would do. Fortunately. What episode was that? Come on, are you a fan of the show or not? I have no idea what you're talking about, but it was Meg in the car. Cass was there. Kevin was there? Totally drawn a blank. No idea what you're talking about. When I first did before my first panel, I tried to like bone up on the show. I was like, they're gonna ask questions about the canon of the show, and I need to know what characters were in what episodes. And then I realized I'm never gonna remember this stuff, and most of these people don't know what's going on anyway, so you can make stuff up. So that has become my approach. But yeah, I love that episode, especially the part with all the fish. Thank you.
If you didn't make it into the television or movies, what would you be doing now for work?
I think I would probably be building things. Yeah. I used to, or maybe that's not true. I would either be building things or I would be in politics. One of the two. I used to moonlight as a carpenter and did some like furniture building and home building, and I liked that work. I liked actually sort of erecting something and with my with my hands. But I also definitely had a career. I had a trajectory in mind early on that I thought I was going to go into politics. And then I interned at the White House and worked at NPR briefly in DC, and became kind of disillusioned with the system and the process, and thought, okay, well, there's got to be a better way to get things done than this, and sort of gave up on that idea, and traded it in for something more meaningful, like being on Supernatural.
So I was wondering, the school year is coming up for most students, and I was just wondering what advice you had for kids who are struggling with anxiety and are worried about the upcoming school year.
Well, school is super scary, and terrible things happen there. Is that helpful? I haven't really, it's funny, I don't think I've ever talked about this before, but I have a really negative association with school myself. I had a really kind of rough time in school, partly because we moved all the time when I was a kid, so pretty much every year I was in a new school up until when I was about 15. And so I was always the new kid, and I was an outsider, and my mom, like when I was in second grade, would, put me in pink tights and send me to school, and I'd be like, why is everybody treating me weird? I'm just wearing pink tights and plastic cowboy boots. So I didn't fit in, and I didn't know how to fit in, but and I was the new kid. And so school was kind of traumatizing for me. But I actually think that we're in a slightly, I don't know, maybe I'm being optimistic, but I kind of feel like we're in a slightly different moment in history when it's like kind of cool to be weird, which I think takes a little bit of the pressure off. Like, it's okay. We now know that it's okay to be different and weird, to be, gay or trans or just have pink hair, like that weirdo right there. So we were sort of talking about this just now in the meet and greet, but I think that life gets easier and less anxiety provoking when you just allow yourself to be yourself and embrace that, and don't try to pretend that you're something else, and don't try to fit into parameters that you don't really fit into. Embrace your weirdness. I don't know, you might not be here like, this doesn't apply to me at all because I'm not weird. I'm actually a totally normal person. Why are you saying this shit? But I think a lot of the anxiety about school is about, fitting in, and the idea of fitting in is actually not, it's never gonna happen. Nobody ever really fits in, so just, being yourself is a step in the right direction. And then trying your hardest is good too. Like, it's okay to not be the best, but it's not okay not to try your hardest, And I think that you end up feeling good about yourself when you know that you tried. So in school, even if you get a C, but you tried, it's like, well, at least I tried. I did my best. I think that we end up feeling shitty about ourselves when we don't try. So those are two pieces of advice from somebody who has no business giving advice. Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
Of all the different creatures that have possessed Cass, which one was your favorite to play and why?
I really liked Lucifer. I think there are a couple of reasons. One, I think that Mark Pellegrino provided a really interesting predecessor for that character, so I had something to work with that was really cool and different. And also, I really liked that there was such a long arc for that character, so I got to sort of do it for a while. I just had no, I'm not allowed to talk about that. Oops. narrowly avoided I almost talked about something that was literally on the list of things, the short list of things not to talk about from the producers. So thank you for catching that and preventing me from saying that. Hi.
Hi there. I was wondering, now that Crowley is not going to be on the show as your nemesis, who would you pick as your nemesis from here on out?
Well, I think the perk of being on Supernatural is that there are a bounty of nemesi. Not a good word. Okay. There's lots and lots of bad guys. So, better? More right? More better? Somebody, an English teacher came up on my photos and handed me a grammar book, and I couldn't help but feel that that was a slight jibe.
Oh, Sam
Like,
Smith.
where do commas go? Okay, anyway, I really don't know the answer to that question. So I think that there are a lot of bad guys in Supernatural, and one of the things that has made the show interesting is that the evil characters are typically not blanket evil. They're like relatable characters. Even Lucifer is sort of like, yes, he is pure evil, but you kind of get it because his dad was a dick, you know? So, and Crowley started out as like a pure bad guy, but then he was also sort of an asset and ally to the boys. So I like the evil characters in Supernatural. We have characters in this season that are great. Yes, great nemesis, and so, and I think we may have characters that could evolve into that too. I'm curious to see where some of our current characters go. There's one in particular that I feel could be a really good bad guy. Hi.
Hi. So my question was, how do you deal with Jensen and Jared when you're filming Supernatural with them?
Thank you for that insightful question. I think you're asking what everybody who works on the show wants an answer for. It's really hard. It's really, really difficult. There was a time when Jared and we were shooting a scene. I think it was maybe season 7, and Jared and Jensen were in the scene and with me. It was a very cast-heavy scene, which gave them the opportunity to really, really fuck with me off camera, and it got bad, and I couldn't get my stuff done, and finally I just lost it, and I put my foot down and I said, "You two, get off the stage, get out of here. I'm serious. I don't want you in here anymore." So we shot the rest of the scene without Jared and Jensen delivering the off-camera dialogue at all. It was Robin and our script supervisor, who was standing on an apple box. So she would be as tall as Jared, delivering the off-camera lines. And unfortunately for me, that sight was very humorous. And so I kept laughing even after they left the stage. But Jared has relayed this story too. Like, he was like, Jesus, like Jared and Jensen kicked off the stage. They're walking back to their trailers, and Jared looks at Jensen and is like, wait a minute, did we just get kicked off our own show? Because it was like, yeah, all right, fair point, all right, I'm sorry, everybody, and they left, and then they were like, wait a minute, we just got kicked off of the Supernatural stage. We are Supernatural. So anyway, yeah, it's difficult. It's not easy, and there's no blanket answer. Nothing consistently works. You have to adapt. Thank you.
Hi, Misha. I was wondering, out of all the Gishwiz submissions over the years, what has been your favorite artistic submission?
I don't think I have a favorite. I don't have a particular favorite submission. I am blown away by some of the artistry that goes into the submissions. I mean, I honestly don't know how people do this stuff. Like, I set up these challenges and people do them, and I think, and the list every year is like almost, this year was almost 200 items. And whatever. And still, and any one of them was a challenge. And the exquisite artistry that went into these submissions were, I mean, just the moon fairies were just, oh my God, that's actually really beautiful. They're really beautiful. So people do amazing work all the time, and I love it. I love, there was a beautiful portrait that was done of Mark Shepard in pet hair. And someone brought it to a convention in person and showed it to both he and I, and it was amazing that you could take something that was like, it was up close, obviously, made you want to throw up, but from a distance, it was like, wow, that is definitely Mark. I kind of like the spectacular items, the things that have to do with space, or I really loved the floating, fully decorated Christmas tree floating with helium balloons. It's just such a bizarre and incongruous sight, and I loved that regional airports were closed because of Christmas trees in the airspace. I loved hearing the news story about that, where they're interviewing a sheriff who was like, yeah, we're not going to pursue criminal charges on this. You don't necessarily think these things all the way through. If it goes up, eventually it will hit a plane. Yeah. Do you have a favorite?
Yes, actually, I do. I'll make this short. One of the items was to paint a stinger on the side of your car riding a unicorn. I did that, but not all the paint ever came off, so thanks.
There's some items that I don't, yeah.
Well, I don't have the car anymore. It was old, so that's kind of why I did it, but still, it was,
Somebody is driving around with...
oh no, it's in a junkyard.
Is that because of the painting? Nobody wanted it?
No, it was just...
Yeah, some of the items, like some of the tattoos that I've had people do as an item in the hunt, I think later on I was like, ooh. Tattoos last a really long time. But actually, some of the tattoos of the Pope are really phenomenal. Does anybody have a Pope tattoo in this crowd? No Pope tattoos? Man, every once in a while at a convention, somebody will come up and be like, hey, I gotta show you something. And they'll take off their pants and be like, Pope Francis all over the place. And all I can say is, I'm sorry. Hi.
Hi. My question is, what is the hardest scene that you've ever played on the show?
We had a scene when Jensen and I were coming out of purgatory in season journalism. There was there was what's called I think it's called a river fan. I remember distinctly it was rented to the production by a company called HurricaneForceWinds.com. And it was this massive fan that was about 10 feet across and just blowing it was creating a gale force wind and blowing sand and rocks and grit in our faces as we're climbing up this sort of gravelly little hill. And it was awful. It was there was bloody mud caked into our nostrils for days after that. That was pretty tough. And then I think probably there have been a number of scenes when we've been in the Impala with the windows rolled up and Jared was farting, and that was also
Fake bottom.
challenging on a number of levels. Yes.
Hi, this is from my friend Gracie.
Hi, Gracie. How are you?
She and I both wanted to know what about you has changed most since you began Supernatural?
I think a lot of things have changed. I kind of grew up on the show. It feels like it feels like I was a kid when I started working on Supernatural, and I feel like I'm an adolescent now. I've had children of my own. We've all had kids of our own. I've had people close to me pass away. I've become close friends with the cast and crew of Supernatural. And I've also had more stability in my life than I had ever had before. As an actor, it's really uncommon to have like a steady job of any kind, and this has been not only steady but a decade long. I don't know. I mean, a lot. So many things have changed. It's hard to say. But I'm very grateful for the path that it's taken me on, and very grateful to like come into this incredible fandom. I mean, I don't know if the fans realize how we talk about you guys in the green room, but we feel so lucky to be a part of this. And we feel like you guys are this really powerful force for good in the world, and also like you're so supportive of us. It's like kind of a pinch me, I can't believe this is happening kind of thing. So I don't know. A lot of things have changed. And meeting you all is a really big one. Yeah.
Which one would you play and why?
Probably Miss Piggy. And just because she's got such great pipes. Thank you.
Happy about ourselves because
I'll be back after, but they
we were food.
Typically, we get
We usually get food when we come out to take you off stage.
Well, actually, I had that in mind during this panel, so I made this the worst panel I possibly could. So when you guys got here, people would be like, "Oh, thank God." Those guys.
I got the sense when I walked out of it, you must really shut the best because they seem to leave over here and keep you on stage.
Yeah, it's almost like they like us.
No, let's say, whoa.
I love you too.
Wow. Look at it, just usurping your authority here on stage.
Unbelievable. Now, next you're going to start correcting me.
Inside joke we don't get. How'd it go?
It went well. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, it's ups and downs.
Yeah.
We ran into a couple of little like grammatical snafus along the way. But we plowed through, we forged on, we got through it.
It was awesome.
I mean,
How did it go for you guys though, more importantly?
it was great. We were standing backstage with Rob Benedict and his brother Matt just quoting Fletch for the last hour. Quality entertainment.
Yeah.
Good stuff, funny stuff. Unlike the camera. I'm kidding, it's a joke. I'm sure it's hilarious.
Well, do it before they start playing. I know.
This is not going well. This is our worst transition.
Yeah, it's one more.
You want to see something?